This is video 7 in the in-law suite remodel series, and after my wife, who happens to be traveling, saw video number 6, she was like, honey, I think you don't have that blocking quite in the right place, based on my excellent drawing. So we had a little FaceTime call, and here I am installing a couple more pieces of blocking to make sure I catch that shelf in the right place. It's going to go all the way across. Then I'm putting some Rockwool insulation in the ceiling to replace the nasty old insulation that fell out. And then I'm also going to insulate the wall, which is mostly, it's an interior wall, so this is mostly for soundproofing. And the Rockwool has to be cut to the right width because so many of the studs aren't on the 16 centered layout because of where the vanity's going and the medicine cabinet that's going to be set into the wall and all that. So there was a lot of custom fitting of pieces, and I ran out of the package of Rockwool I was using. So I thought I'd give you a quick look at the tiny house because it is largely finished on the outside at this point, but as you'll see, not finished at all on the inside. Basically being used as a tiny shed for storage right now, and I have a couple of more bats of Rockwool in here. I'm gonna grab 2 of them. There we are, there's the extra roofing. There's some more siding, and until about a week ago, the bathroom flooring was being stored in here. And here's Rockwool. There's Rockwool under the subfloor here. That's where these bats came from. And I'm gonna grab 2 of these if I can, one-handed. And bring them inside. There's what the finished insulation looks like in the bathroom. And with that done, it was back to some more drywall, and I finally got smart. I screwed a 2x4 as a cleat onto the wall there to hold up that first sheet, because it's very hard to hold it up, and put the first couple of screws in. That was much easier than cutting out where the outlets go there. They broke right on the half sheet, which was nice. Made it easy to cut them out. And then a bunch more screws. They say along the studs you want to go, in the field, so to speak, in the center of the sheet, you want to go every 16 to 24 inches, and then 8 to 10 around the edges. And here's the inlet for, or the opening where the medicine cabinet's going to go. So cut that out. And then get to the second sheet. I measured carefully where all the stub outs for the vanity and the toilet are, and that came out really nice. The sheet slipped right in there. It made me very happy. And you don't need to see all the screws going in, you get the idea. But it's very, very satisfying to be inside a room that you built. And once you get the drywall on, it does very much feel like you're inside a room that you built. One of the last pieces going in here by the door opening. And then I'm going to get to doing some mudding and finally actually patching these ladder blocking holes. Here's a fun trick I picked up somewhere. That's just a piece of drywall. On the back of it, I'm scoring it to roughly the width of that hole, and then I'm breaking it toward the front and then peeling it so that the front paper stays on the sheet, or stays on the patch, pardon me. And then I measured it for length there, doing the same thing, peeling that off. And that gives you a patch that has paper built right onto it. Now, I do drywall on the regular, and by on the regular what I mean is roughly 1.5 times a decade. So this drywall mud, I don't know why it's so wet, was lying around in the basement, and I thought I would use it, but it was messy. But it'll dry in there, and that'll be enough to get things started on that patch. And then I'll come back with some better mud and do a few more coats to smooth it out. Here is the first piece of tape going in. Again, I am no drywall expert. 1.5 times per decade. But here's how I was taught to do it originally. There goes the first paper joint there. Smooth that down. And there's the first coat on the wall. Thanks so much for watching.